So a lot of YouTubers are getting their Pixel 3 and unboxing them. Mine is still on the way, still doing that collaboration with For the Love of Tech. He's sending it to me. I'm gonna use it for a month, but I have to say, it doesn't look like the release is going very well. A lot of YouTubers aren't saying it. They're just kind of unboxing it and giving you their really well-edited reviews or their unboxing impressions, and I just want to be the first to say, I don't think this is going very well. Maybe it's just me, but this seems to be a very bumpy release. May I say, one of the bumpiest releases we've ever seen for a Pixel phone yet. So I just thought today we could talk about what I've been seeing from a viewer's perspective and the things I'm very much not looking forward to once my Pixel 3 gets here. So first things first, the keynote is where all this began, and they confirmed that our suspicions about there being a cool Pixel Ultra were not real. The pricing was not that great, still pretty high for what they are. The specs were overall not that impressive. They were exactly what we thought, and even Google during the keynote didn't really want to talk about the performance of the phone itself, mostly just Titan, security, it's secure, that's it. That's all you really need to know. But now that the phone is out and about and making its way into everyday people's lives, we're seeing that, as expected, the camera is really great. It's good at taking still images, but in regards to most other aspects of the phone, doesn't seem to be that great. Let's start with build quality. So most people who have held the Pixel 3, I have as well, went to our local Best Buy, held it. It has a pretty good feel. I'll even admit that with that glass back, it feels nice in the hand. They've got some good taptics, but we've got this big issue of the phone scratching very easily. But wait, it's not actually scratching. It just looks like it's scratching, which is the response I got on Twitter when I thought a lot of people were bringing up that the solution to this problem is a sponsorship with D-brand. So if the phone is designed poorly, just slap a D-brand on there and there's not really a problem anymore. I think it's funny because this is a hardware defect. This is something you cannot fix with software. Once the phone goes out like this, it will always be this brittle, this prone to scratches. And the most noticeable thing is that even big YouTubers who haven't even dropped the phone and are showing it on camera are showing pretty noticeably bad scratches. The phone hasn't even been out for a month. People have been using this thing for a week and it's already showing significant signs of wear. But don't worry about it. D-brand, slap it right on there, fixes everything. So as many people have pointed out on Twitter as well, this phone feels so good in the hand, but you should probably wrap it with a sticker and tape because it's very brittle and it might damage itself through everyday wear and tear very easily. But not to worry, if you have dish soap, you can use a toothbrush and scrub it very, very vigorously for 10 to 15 minutes a day and get rid of 80 to 90% of the scratches. Some of the scratches still won't go away, even ones made by keys. But regardless, even if you don't put keys in your pocket with your phone, I definitely don't. People have said that even Marquez himself said that even after unboxing the phone for just a couple minutes, it was already starting to accumulate up scratches. Now, to the people saying these aren't actually scratches, they're just residue coming off of keys or the objects that are scratching the phone has an aesthetic problem. It's very brittle, it's very weak. It means that this aesthetic imperfection is noticeable to a lot of people. The fact that it's not technically a scratch because if you scrub it really hard with a toothbrush and dishwashing soap, let's hope that while they made the Pixel 3 more water resistant, they also made it more soap resistant. That doesn't change the fact that it's an aesthetic problem. Like if you complained that the paint on our walls looks really, really bad, and I told you, no, the paint is not bad, it just looks bad, that doesn't really change the fact that it still looks bad. It's an aesthetic complaint. Just complaining that it's only the looks that are bad and not the actual object itself, that doesn't fix the problem. People shouldn't have to scrub their phone with a toothbrush and dishwashing soap to make it look good. The only reason I bring this up is I feel like when the iPhones come out and there's any type of problem like ChargeGate or your face looking better than normal and the lighting being better on the front-facing camera, people get very, very uppity about that. People get upset, people demand for answers, and they use that age-old criticism, if I'm paying top dollar for a product, it should not have any problems, which I completely disagree with. No matter how expensive a product is, it will have imperfections, there will be problems, but I just don't see a lot of YouTubers bringing up this issue because maybe Google's sending them the phone for free and there's a little bit of bias there. Bias on YouTube, I know, it's weird. But this is not something that can be patched via software like ChargeGate could or potentially BeautyGate could. This is a design defect that you are going to have to put up with if you invest in a Pixel 3 until October of 2019. You're going to put up with this for 12 months. Imagine how bad Pixel phones phones are gonna look if they're already looking pretty bad after a couple weeks of use. Then comes performance. So the tech specs people noticed with the Pixel 3 are not particularly good, especially compared to other cheaper phones that have been out for months. Phones like the Galaxy S9 is able to pack in some more RAM, even the same CPU, and get better real-life use. Everything Apple Pro did a great video comparing the iPhone XS Max to the Pixel 3 in a speed test, and it is pathetic, to be honest with you. Usually when Everything Apple Pro does speed tests on its channel, phones like the OnePlus or the Galaxy Note 9 or the S9, they'll open apps really fast and they'll keep them in the background running for round 2 pretty well. They get neck and neck. Sometimes one passes the other when it comes to export times, like the A12 chip is really good at exporting video, but for the most part, they're very similar. The test between the XS Max and the Pixel 3 XL were not similar. The iPhone XS Max finished round 1 and round 2 in just under 3 minutes, and the Pixel 3 finished round 2 after just reaching minute 7, so just about 50% slower than the newest iPhone that just came out. And if you want to argue price, like, well, the XS Max cost $200 more, so it is faster, but you have to pay more. Well, the XR just came out. It's got the same A12 chip, and usually when an iPhone has a lower resolution like the XR does, that means that the XR, while $50 cheaper than the starting price of the Pixel 3, is still 50% faster in terms of just opening apps and getting them to work correctly. There's also a lot of people on Reddit, you've heard of Reddit, Unbox Therapy, right? You've heard of that. People reporting that when you take pictures on the Pixel 3, it doesn't always save the photo, especially if you leave the camera app after taking the picture and use a different app, then the Pixel phone has a hard time saving those pictures and they're just gone. You can't find them again. So, hate to bring this up because everyone kept saying, $1,000 iPhone, you can't even charge it when the screen's off, which they fixed in a week. Didn't take long. Well, now the Pixel 3's out and you can argue all you want about how beautiful that camera is, but if you take pictures and the phone can't save the pictures, that's a pretty big problem, especially for a $900 phone. Hopefully Google acknowledges this, but hey, I'm just trying to bring forward the complaints. I'm trying to just bring this up to Google. Not gonna hold it against the phone, just saying, if we share some light on this issue Pixel users are having, maybe Google can fix it sooner, right? But no, you won't see YouTubers talking about these problems, because you can slap a D brand on it, fixes everything, right? Especially when it comes to Geekbench scores, we've noticed that the Snapdragon 845 in the Pixel 3 is significantly slower than other cheaper, older phones with the exact same CPU. Why? Mostly because of cooling. There wasn't really much of a heat sink when it came to the Pixel 3's design, so simply put, the Pixel 3 was just designed poorly. Much smaller companies with much less resources like Razer and OnePlus were able to design fairly effective heat sinks inside their phones that allow the Snapdragon 845 to be clocked further. So, to no surprise, it looks like a new Pixel product didn't focus that much on optimization, a consistent problem I've had with every Pixel product I've ever owned. The OG Pixel and the Pixel Book both had the issue of, well, we've got some hardware in here, but we're not going to try to optimize it for the software at all. We're just kind of slap it in there, and that's how you end up with inconsistent experiences, like photos you take randomly disappearing, and my friend John Prosser unable to open the settings app. Literally, Google sent him a phone, open settings, settings can't open. Sorry. That's what happens, Google, when you don't think about optimization, and you just think, oh, the iPhone has 4 gigs of RAM. We should be good with 4. Every other Android OEM has Snapdragon 845. That's fast, right? Slap it in there, but then you don't worry about heat sinking. You don't worry about optimizing it for the software. You get this crappy, laggy experience that is probably not going to sell very well because, frankly, you can get way better deals elsewhere. If I were telling Google what to do, I would say they should buy out OnePlus, and then both companies could kind of merge hardware teams. So you could have the OnePlus 6T and the Pixel 3 merge to create one phone called the OnePlus 6T, a far superior phone in every way. Fingerprint reader on the front, face unlock technology, tiny notch. Haven't even talked about the notch yet. Everything great about the Pixel's camera has to do with software, AI, and machine learning. Really has nothing to do with the hardware in the lens itself. If anything, the hardware is severely crippled because processing the bokeh effect after you've taken the picture still takes a few seconds after you've taken it. Whereas on an iPhone, you can just kind of snap the picture, open up the camera, it's already there, and you can see what the portrait mode photo looks like before you take it. Google Pixel, still not capable of doing that. So just put all that AI and machine learning, just shove it in a OnePlus phone, and it'll instantly look a lot better than it does right now. And I haven't even talked about the notch yet. I know everyone's complaining about the notch, but the thing that's apparent to me about the notch is how little the Google team really notices or cares about what people are into. Like, the iPhone X came out around the time they would have been designing the Pixel 3. It's not like they were intended on this notch. The Pixel 3 XL hadn't been designed yet when the iPhone X was unveiled, and they were like, okay, a lot of people clearly clearly don't like the notch. Maybe we shouldn't make, oh, wait a minute. Let's make one that's different. Obviously, it doesn't take a genius to know that the notch, the reason it's so controversial is it's an irregularity. It sticks out. It intrudes on the content. But most of the time, you're looking at the center of your phone. So that's why a lot of people tolerate the notch, is because it's not really in the middle where you're always looking. It's at the top. So Google's design team went ahead and said, let's make our notch different by making it stick further into the center of the phone and cut deeper. How could have no one at the design team realized that's more intrusive? That's taking up more space. Apple's notch, while it is intrusive and a lot of people don't like it, it's moving in this direction. It's wider because Apple knew most people don't look at the top of the phone all the time. They're always looking in the middle. They're looking at their content, their apps, their videos. So the idea that your notch is going to be different by pushing it down further into the screen, so mind-boggling, and the keynote makes it so obvious that they were embarrassed they did it and they wish they hadn't done it. And then they bury the option to erase the notch in the developer settings, and it oftentimes doesn't even do a good job of putting the time and the battery up into the ears, so you have to find third-party apps to do that. Everything about this phone is just losing me, and I'm having a hard time justifying it. We're finding out that the speakers aren't even louder than an iPhone XS anyway. So while I don't have my Pixel yet, viewing the experiences from afar, it doesn't look good. I think it looks incredibly bumpy. If you ask me, I think they should start including cases with the sale of a Pixel phone. They should just give you a case, kind of like Steve Jobs did during Intinigate, and just be like, look, we know there's scratch issues, so have a free case to kind of cover it up and kind of try to numb down and cover up the complaints they've been having with it. Overall, though, from afar, it looks like the Pixel 3 is overpriced for the hardware you get with it, given there's plenty of other Android OEMs with better hardware, faster hardware for cheaper that have been out for months, unoptimized to work with what it was given. And the hardware on it was not designed properly either, so most YouTubers excuse off the hardware defects with a sponsorship by just saying, get a D brand. If you like a D brand, that's fine, but I find it incredibly unfair that we critique Apple for a software problem that can be fixed in 1 week, and when there's a literal hardware issue with a Google phone, no one brings it up, probably because it doesn't do very well on YouTube. You get more views for hating Apple. Does hating on the Pixel really do much? I can tell you, not really, but that's what I'm thinking, so that's why I'm saying it. What do you guys think of the release so far of the Pixel 3? Is anyone sold on it? Was anyone interested, but then saw other YouTubers talk about it and then went, maybe, never mind? Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you in the next one. Hey Xander, I got some scratches on my phone.
Oh no.
But wait, they're not actually scratches because I have Palmolive antibacterial dish soap.
Oh, okay.
So, let me just turn this on here.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna take some good pictures today. Really good bokeh.
Are you sure that's
Yeah,
gonna...
that's how it works. Hold on. You gotta wash it off here. You have to make sure to scrub really hard because the scratches do come off. They're not scratches. It's just residue.
Is soap good for the phone?
Oh yeah, soap's fine.
Okay.
Soap's fine.
All right.
It's okay. I just do this every day before I go outside.
Oh.
All the scratches come right off.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, it's just pristine now. Sometimes it helps to get the food mixed in too. Kind of cleans it off.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Oh. Okay. Just like that, huh? You just...
It's not turning on.
Oh, I mean, you kind of did put soap on it.